Pembrokeshire, and indeed from Pembrokeshire. It's your daytime show with Ocky White Travel, celebrating over 60 years of making those holiday dreams come true. And if you are looking for a little getaway at the moment, check out Ocky White Travel online now, and also some cracking offers on their Facebook page. Well, it is an absolute pleasure always catching up with this fine gentleman. He's made his way on the 302 from Milford Haven to our studios here in Haverfordwest this morning. Paul Guisbourne-Hilton. Hello, matey. Very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on the show today.
Good morning, Toby. It's great to be here, and thanks for the opportunity and the welcome as well from everybody at Pure West Radio.
Oh, absolute pleasure. So you were made a cup of tea? Yeah, they looked after you upstairs?
Yeah, they looked after me upstairs, yeah.
Good.
A coffee made by the lovely Ali, and
fabulous.
It was really good.
Were you offered a biscuit as well?
No.
You weren't offered a biscuit? Right, I love it.
No, that's all right, because I'm dieting anyway.
Do you know what? I remember you saying to me, actually, where I saw you at the SPF Awards recently.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, you know, I'm looking after, I'm trimming up a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking good, mate. Looking
Thank
good.
you.
Looking good.
Thank you.
So we've seen you over the last couple of weeks at, we saw you at the Pabs Community Awards. We saw you at the FutureWorks Awards,
yeah.
and we saw you at the SPF Awards. You've been picking up gongs left, right, and centre. Congratulations! I mean, it's very well deserved. First of all, Paul.
Thank you.
Tell us why have you been winning these awards? What have you been up to?
I don't really think I've been up to much as such.
You liar!
I've just been me.
Yeah,
I mean, I love being around people. I love attempting to make a difference. And not just to my life, but to the lives of many others.
Well, you're not just attempting, Paul. You are making a difference.
Well, I hope
you are making a difference. You are.
You know, but everything I do, I try and give my best to it. You know, and I try and make people's experiences and knowing me a better place.
Yeah.
You know, and I've no doubt that there'll be people who think that that's not the case, but I can't please everybody all the time.
Well, I mean, let's go right back in case anyone's not heard you on Pure West before or seen you at one of these awards ceremonies. So you know, where did life begin for you? Where was home? How did you end up in Pembrokeshire?
Well, home was in Manchester, in a little town called Middleton, which is just north of Manchester.
Are you red or blue?
I'm neither.
Okay.
Although saying that, I worked for Sharp when they sponsored United.
Yes.
I worked for Conica when they sponsored City.
Oh.
And it was an absolute nightmare because I had to go, because of my corporate sales background, I had to go to so many of each of them's homes games. And I'd be sat there me for 4 hours thinking, why am I here? You know, nowadays probably totally differently because I probably get paid a lot of money for going.
Yeah, 100%.
But in the meantime, got married, which wasn't a very good marriage, quite difficult to manage and quite difficult emotionally and physically and mentally and everything else. And after about 12 years of being threatened, abused and battered and everything else, it was like, you know what, I'm done.
Enough's enough.
Enough's enough. And I could have stuck a pin in the map and ended up anywhere. And as it happens, I ended up in Pembrokeshire. I used to holiday here when I was growing up with my auntie and uncle, and it was great. Of course, when you live somewhere, you then see how different life is. You know, and you sort of think, yeah, you know, public transport isn't the best. People are isolated and lonely, and you know, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult place to come into. I mean, fortunately, when I first moved in, I lived in Haverfordwest. When I moved from there, I moved to Milford. I could never imagine living in one of the outlying villages, although they are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's purely the accessibility to them. And I couldn't stand being indoors all the time. I'm not that kind of person, really.
Yeah.
You know, I like being outdoors. I like meeting people, seeing new things, experiencing new things, and hopefully putting a smile on people's faces as I'm going around doing it.
And that's exactly it. And this is where I guess the awards have come into play, Paul, because you have been making such a big difference, especially with the 50 Plus Forum. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was a member of the 50 Plus Forums some years ago, and due to other things happening, I sort of walked away from it. But in the last 12 months or so, I've tried to re-engage, and have re-engaged. We had our AGM a couple of months ago, and I was elected as chair of the 50 Plus Forum. You know, and it's a great opportunity in my mind to give people over 50 a voice. we work closely with the age-friendly communities strategy officer at Pembrokeshire County Council, with various other organisations that work within age relations, and the Older People's Commissioner for Wales, who, as many of your viewers will know, listen to G&T in the morning. I actually came in on the day that she was coming to Pembrokeshire to actually address our forum and the members and also a wider audience.
And how did it go?
It went very well. It was well attended, and the feedback that we got was actually quite good. And they even said I wasn't a bad chair,
Hey, happy days.
I mean, it's like anything though. You're addressing.
Nice to get your nods.
Yeah, well, you're addressing an audience that you don't really know, and you're sort of trying to work partly off a script, but partly make it human as well. And of course, you're also trying to make sure that everybody feels welcomed and accepted, and obviously with the commissioner being there as well and one of her colleagues, it was very much trying to make sure that she was okay and that they were looked after, as well as
I'm sure you did a great job.
I certainly tried.
So what's the whole idea of the Pembrokeshire 50 Plus Forum then? So what's the goals and ambitions of the organisation?
Well, I was looking at an old piece of paperwork last night actually at my desk, and it says basically flying the flag for the over 50s. And I guess really that's what I would like to see us do. I think that we have issues that need to be addressed both as a forum but also in the wider context. There is a bit of an apathy in Pembrokeshire anyway. That's been noted many times. However, I do feel as though if we go back to a core basis of lobbying, campaigning, looking for change, working with the age-friendly community strategy officer, working with the strategy board, the Older People's Champion in Pembrokeshire County Council, Councillor Hancock, we can make a difference and get our voices heard, build relationships with the Older People's Commissioner's office, and basically just try and improve people's lives. Just try and ensure that people don't feel isolated, they don't feel alone, they've got a voice that can be heard, and also that we can act on local issues as well.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because when you look at local issues that come up, it could be absolutely anything.
And I think this is what's really fascinating is you've sort of seen it from both sides, because you moved into Pembrokeshire and were like in this beautiful area, and as you say, you don't really understand the sort of the mechanics of what's going on until you live here, and then you understand.
Yeah.
And then, absolute kudos to you. You've gone, do you know what? Let's make a change. Let's make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, also let's not forget all the volunteering that you've done as well. I mean, that's why you won the PABS Awards. Tell us a bit about that. I mean, you've been up to all sorts there.
Unfortunately, because of my coming from Manchester and the relationship I came from, there was a knock-on effect with my mental health, there was a knock-on effect with PTSD and various other things, and it pretty much ruled me out of the workplace, and I decided though that I still wanted to do something.
Yeah. So
I was looking at a notice board in the doctor's surgery, and it was basically, are you over 50, alone, would you like to help? And that was actually through Volunteering Matters with a lovely lady called Rachel Evans. And I became a befriender for them. Befriending isn't for everybody in terms of both the befriender and the befriendee, but it is a link to some people, and some people will really grasp it, and they'll grasp the idea that it's nice to have somebody come and chat with them, whether it's for an hour, take them out for a coffee, whatever it may be. When that sort of, my involvement ended with that, I then went into community transport. So I became a booking coordinator for a couple of charities locally, Pembrokeshire Volunteer Transport, working alongside the community transport organisation Pacto and all those other things. And I guess that's where then you sort of get the other side of the coin, because you recognise how difficult it is in terms of recruiting volunteers to drive people to appointments, getting people out and about in rural areas. as we've discussed many times, the transport situation in Pembrokeshire is not one that I'm happy about. The fact that there's no buses running on Sunday. I think we're the only county in Wales that don't have a bus service on Sunday. I can't quote myself on that, but I'm pretty certain that we are close to that stage. Certainly up in North Wales, I've travelled on Sundays up in North Wales.
There is, there's lots of services, there's lots of areas that really do need some attention, and it's great that you're able to go in and highlight these. And also, you were helping out at the Torch Theatre as well for a little while.
No, I still do.
You still do? Oh, fantastic! You're a busy man.
Yeah,
I'd love to see your diary. To be fair, it took 2 weeks for you to get here. I love it.
Well, in fairness, though, that was partly because last week I was actually at a pub-sponsored networking event where, again, I met the lovely Ali. I was actually sat next to Ali.
Yeah, fantastic.
It was great fun listening to her and her experiences and, meeting her as well. The week before, I think if I remember rightly, you were unwell.
Yeah, I was actually,
because you had the flu.
That's it, yeah.
And I came in the day after, though, which was the day of the commissioner's visit.
Yeah, which was great to have you on the breakfast.
To see Gina and Tom, a good little bit of G&T.
Oh, yeah. Great tonic to wake up to in the morning, that. Great
absolutely. It was so much fun.
So what's next then, Paul? What's your ambitions? What's next in your diary? What's on the horizon? Where are we going to see you next?
Retirement. No,
you are retired. This is where it all begins.
Maybe going back into the workplace. Probably easier. I don't really know. I mean, the challenge within the 50 Plus Forum, membership is a big issue to me at this moment in time. We have a core group of members who do a lot, but because of age and everything else, it becomes harder to do. Our former chair is sort of in her 80s, her husband's in his 80s, and they need to have time for themselves now.
Yeah.
They're still actively involved in the forum, and I appreciate that because I appreciate their input and everything else alongside the other forum members. But you need to have, it needs to be less of a talking shop, if that makes sense, and more, let's get out there.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. When we talk about services, the crazy thing is that, there's a mapping system with regard to toilet facilities, public conveniences, for instance, and the number of public conveniences that are being reduced around the county is actually quite hard thing to recognise. Certainly in Milford now, there is actually only one designated public convenience, unless you go into Tesco's, for example. And it's a bit like, as an older person, you can generally have more of a need.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And you can often be more led of where to go, knowing what facilities are available.
Yeah, because if you're thinking to yourself, I might need a bathroom break, and it's like, well, why would you go to a beach where there's nothing around it?
Yeah.
Or a walk around, Washington Lily Ponds, for example, or wherever it might be. And if you're going to some of the outlying villages, if you go to Sandy Haven, there is nothing up there until you come back along the coastal path and you get to Ulster Community Centre, who have opened their doors to the public when their building is open. And that's a great initiative, and I'm fully supportive of it.
Yeah, definitely.
But it doesn't take away the need of something at the starting point.
Yeah, and just one of the many things that you're tackling, which is absolutely fabulous. You can find out more details of the 50 Plus Forum if you'd like to apply and be part of it. Please do email Pembrokeshire 50plusforum@gmail.com. Paul, thank you ever so much for popping in today. It's always an absolute pleasure having you on. Keep up the great work wherever we might see you, whether it be at the Torch Theatre or out on a general little stroll or at the Pembrokeshire 50 Plus Forum or even in Milford Haven. Yeah. We will see you very soon. Keep in touch with us here at Pure West Radio.
Of course, Toby, and congratulations on your many awards.
Thank you very much.
What an amazing team.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, Paul. Absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Thanks for coming in, my man.
No problem. Thanks, Toby.
He's an absolute superstar. Paul Guisbourne-Hilton right here on your daytime show on Pure West Radio. Here's Teddy Swims. on your station for Pembrokeshire.
Brilliant, mate. Well done. Fantastic. Well done, mate. Brilliant. Well done, mate.